We start this broadcast with the tragic news that has left India in shock. An Air India flight carrying 242 people crashed seconds after takeoff in Western India's Ahmedabad. At least 265 casualties have been reported so far, including passengers, plane crew and medical students on the site of the crash. Toll continues to mount. The city police chief says 204 bodies have been recovered so far. These are the final moments. The plane taking off and then losing altitude, plunging into the ground and exploding into a fireball. In the latest, sources tell WION that officials have recovered the black box of the Air India 171. The Boeing 7878 Dreamliner, operating its Flight 171 bound for London, went down outside the airport perimeter minutes after departing. The plane took off at 1300 hours 39 minutes Indian Standard Time from the Sardar Vallabhbhai International Airport. On board were 230 passengers, 2 pilots, 10 cabin crew members. The airline confirmed the nationalities: 169 Indians, 53 British nationals, 7 Portuguese and 1 Canadian. India's aviation regulator, the DGCA, says the aircraft issued a mayday call before crashing. The plane struck the rooftop of a residential complex, a doctor's hostel belonging to the state-run BJ Medical College. Images from the site show the aircraft tearing through the dining area of the hostel. And a large-scale DNA sampling drive is underway as well, with the FSL teams working continuously to identify the victims. DNA test results are expected within 72 hours. The Indian Army, the National Disaster Response Force and local police join firefighters in the search and rescue operations. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi termed the crash heartbreaking beyond words. India's External Affairs Ministry confirms multiple fatalities, though the final count is still awaited.
What has happened in Ahmedabad is a very tragic accident. We have lost a lot of people. We extend our deepest condolences to all those who have lost their loved ones. There are, I understand, several foreigners also. Those updates you will receive from the relevant departments, Ministry of Civil Aviation, Air India and others. They are putting out something, I guess, soon. That's the latest that I can share. It's still an evolving situation. Rescue operations are on, so you'll have to wait a little more time for exact details to be put out.
Amit Shah, India's Union Home Minister, visited the crash site and took stock of the situation. The Home Minister also visited the Ahmedabad Civil Hospital. Amit Shah also met senior officials to assess the current situation. The aircraft was under the command of the Captain Sumit Sabharwal, who had over 8,200 hours of flight experience, and First Officer Clive Kundar with 1,100 hours. The Dreamliner first entered service in 2011, and this marks the model's first crash. The downed aircraft had flown its maiden journey in 2013, was delivered to Air India in January 2014. Boeing said it is aware of the incident and is gathering further details. World leaders, including Russian President Vladimir Putin, Ukrainian President Zelensky, European Union President Ursula von der Leyen, Maldivian President Muizu, and officials in Beijing, Tehran extended condolences. British Foreign Minister David Lammy expressed deep sorrow at the tragedy as well. For latest updates on this, our principal correspondent Disha Shah is joining us live from ground zero of this tragedy in Ahmedabad. Disha, thank you so much for joining us. Disha, I want to, of course, begin by asking you what the ground situation is at the moment, what's happening, where you are and where you're currently reporting from exactly.
Well, good morning to you and our viewers who are watching us here at WION. It was indeed a sleepless night, it seems, for the people here living in Ahmedabad and not only here but the entire state of Gujarat and the country as well, because on ground we can see that there are still more than 200 to 300 police personnel who have been doing duty round the clock 24/7 managing this entire area. We are presently at the crash site where the Air India plane crashed right here. As you can see in front of this is the location, this is the doctor's hostel is what we understand, and clearly you can see the affected buildings. There were about 4 buildings and all the buildings have had a huge impact. When the flight took off, it crashed right here at the top of one of these hostel building, and it belongs to the doctors, it belongs to the resident doctors, and there is also a training center here. So as you can see, the impact was so huge that the rescue operations went on for nearly 12 to 13 hours, and it concluded at about 11:30 p.m. last night. And now what we are being told that the rescue operations are concluded totally. According to the Ahmedabad police, there are no bodies that are left under the debris, but as we can still see that there are more and more teams from the rescue departments coming in just to do a final check, on ground check, just to ascertain whether they are not leaving any person or body behind, is what we understand. On the ground level, the Ahmedabad police has confirmed that they have recovered about 265 bodies from under the debris from this specific crash site, including 5 MBBS doctors, and the other identification is being done as we speak.
Right, Disha, let's just quickly go through the numbers once again for our viewers as well. From what we do know, the official toll at the moment is 265 people who have died. We had reports earlier that about 200 bodies have been recovered. I believe that number has changed now. Is that what you were saying?
Well, absolutely. In the late night tweet done by Air India, clearly they had also confirmed that the casualties were 241 on board. Only there was one sole survivor, who is getting treatment at the Ahmedabad Civil Hospital. But now, according to the Ahmedabad police, in the morning they have confirmed, saying that 265 bodies have been recovered because the rescue operations have been completed totally. So they have recovered 265 bodies, and now you can clearly see that there is so much of tightened security at the crash site here. There is barricading, there is 3-layer security, because Prime Minister Narendra Modi is expected to reach this specific site between 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. So the police is making the required arrangements, and there are going to be a lot of VVIP movements today as well that are expected today here at the crash site as well as at the civil hospital, where the victims' family members are there and also the injured people are getting the near treatment. As you can see on the ground level, there is still so much of movement, there is still so much of police presence, there is NDRF, SDRF, we can see the rescue teams coming in and going. So all of this, of course, it is going to be a long day again for the people here, because the DNA test sampling is also being conducted as we speak. More than 1,000 samples have been taken from the relatives of the victims for easy identification. And as we speak, again, it is going to be a long day where more and more samples are going to be collected.
Absolutely, Disha. Of course, that's what's happened so far. Underway currently, the DNA sampling. We've also the black box has also been recovered. That is something that will be monitored as well. For now, Disha, thank you so much for bringing us the latest on this. We'll of course continue to track all developments on this with you there. Thank you so much. For latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.